everybody, welcome back to another very exciting Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. I am your host, Jesus Ramirez. How are you guys doing today? It's a wonderful Friday morning for me in the San Francisco Bay Area. Let me know where you're watching from. I hope that you're having a wonderful morning, wonderful afternoon, or wonderful evening. Let me take a look at the chat and see who we have here. We have, happy Friday, Andreas. Good evening, Susan, Sig, Judith, Sam Peterson, as always, welcome. Ted, awesome. Oh my God, so many familiar faces. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Here we go. Yeah, here we go, Sam. Awesome. So let's just get right into it. Let's, Boca Raton, Florida. Nice, I've been there. That's a nice area there, Nina. We got the coast in Canada. Awesome. People watching from India. Thank you so much. Anyway, let's just, I just want to show you guys my screen here, and actually it looks like you guys can't see me. I just noticed that I think I placed, there you go, now you can see me. This is the Daily Creative Challenge page that I wanted to show you. Actually, this is the one that I wanted to show you. This is a Daily Creative Challenge page. You can see this big blue button here in the center. That big blue button right there, that's the one that you need to click on to make sure that you follow along with me on this Daily Creative Challenge. Make sure you click on that. Also click on the community chat to join the Discord page where you can submit your work onto our Discord app. And actually I have the Discord app active. I'm not sure why that didn't come up, but anyway, I'll get to that in a moment. So with Discord, you can make sure that you submit the work that you create with me here on the Daily Creative Challenge, and not just with me, with everyone else in the community. So I have this community channel, and here on the left hand side you can see the current challenge tab, and you can see the challenges that people have been working on. This is what we did yesterday. This is the surreal portrait that we made. It was a pretty cool one, and oh wow, this is awesome job there. Your name is Catherine Nick, or maybe Catherine C. Good job there, Catherine. But yeah, so this is the surreal portraits that we worked on yesterday. So make sure that you submit your work so that we can check it out on the Discord page. Once again, you can get to it by clicking on the community chat link here and then going onto Discord. Also, when you submit your work with us, make sure that you use the hashtag PS Daily Challenge when you create a project on Behance. So if you click on this big blue button, you'll be able to create a project. If you don't know how to do that, watch the intro stream for this challenge and you'll be able to understand how to create a project on Behance. And in there's a tab called Discoverability. Make sure that inside of that tab, you use the hashtag PS Daily Challenge, because we are curating a gallery showcasing the awesome work that you guys are creating. So make sure that you use that hashtag so that we can find it and you can have an opportunity to be featured on this gallery. So PS Daily Challenge. If you're working with Howard on a XD Daily Creative Challenge, you can use XD Daily Challenge, and the AI Daily Challenge hashtag for Illustrator. So yeah, let me see if we have any questions in the chat. Ivan from Spain, awesome. Andrew Kavanagh, he's from Beverly Hills, California. Andrew's a friend. Good to see you, Andrew. He runs the Photoshop and Lightroom group on Facebook. If you are interested in joining a large community of photographers and creatives who are interested in Photoshop and Lightroom. Awesome. Cool. So it looks like it's just a bunch of people saying hi from all over the place. It's so awesome to see you guys here in the chat with me. One thing I do want to mention is on the behance.net challenge/Photoshop page, make sure that you scroll down so that you can see the challenges that are unlocking every day. Today is May 15th, and we're going to work on an invisible objects project. Make sure that you click on the Get Started file. By the way, all these streams are recorded, so if I go too fast or you forget how to do something, you can always come back to this page and click on the Watch Video button so you can see the recording of this stream. And I highly recommend doing that if you missed some of the other Daily Creative Challenges. But anyway, click on Get Started, and that should download this file here called starter.psd. If can click on download, make it a direct download, obviously, into your computer. I have this DCC folder here that I can just put it into, and I can just open that up in Photoshop. This is an Adobe stock image, and you can right click on it and license it if you like. And actually this one came in broken. I'm not really sure why. Let me see if I can still license it. Oh, it looks like I can't. Well, I do want to license it because I want to work with the licensed version, but I already have that here, so I'm just going to open that up. But anyway, if you want to license it, you can. I'm going to work with the licensed version. And what we want to do in this challenge is make it seem as if the person riding the skateboard is invisible, so only his clothes will be showing, but not his actual body. So that's what we're going to work on in this challenge. Cool. We see Claudie from Print My Soul on the chat. Hi, Claudie. She's in Manchester, UK. Cool. And the first step is to basically, the way I like to work is have the most control as possible with everything that I do. So what I think would be a good idea for something like this is just to remove him entirely. Like we're just going to make it seem like there's no one in the photo, and then selectively bring back pieces so that it seems like we have an invisible person. So the way that we'll do that is by selecting the quick selection tool if you're in an older version of Photoshop, and just clicking and dragging on him. Or you can just use the new feature, which is the Adobe Sensei under Select. Subject, Adobe Sensei is Adobe's artificial intelligence. It analyzes an image and it attempts to make a selection around it. In this case, it does a fairly good job. It missed his foot down here, his left foot, but that's okay. I can just add it with the quick selection tool, like so. And oh my god, I did such a terrible job there. If that happens to you, just hold Alt and Windows Option on the Mac and click and drag on those areas to deselect them, areas that shouldn't be selected, right? And you don't have to be perfect, especially in this area, because we're gonna actually keep his foot, like that's his shoe, so we're gonna keep it. So it doesn't need to be perfect, but like I said, I just want to have the most flexibility and the most control as possible, so I'm going to make sure that everything is selected. Cool. It looks like we have done a pretty good job here. And what I'm going to do now is expand the selection, because I don't want it to be right on the edge of his body. I want it to expand outward so that we can have a gap in between the selection and the edges of his body. So we have Angela in the chat saying, hi, Jesus. Hey, Angela. Why do I have a question mark in the corner of my file in the layer? So the question mark is sort of what happened to me. For whatever reason, Photoshop is not recognizing the file in the Creative Cloud, so it's trying to link to it again. If you don't have to fix the question mark issue if you're just doing this for practice and you don't have any intentions on removing that question mark. If you do want to license a photo and use the watermark, the high resolution version, not the watermark version, what you need to do is in the bottom right, there's a number. You can type that number up in the Adobe stock search engine, and then license the image from there, and then you can use it in Photoshop. But the question mark is only there because it can't locate the file in the Creative Cloud, and if it can't find it, it'll just be wondering where it is. And you don't have to worry about it unless you want to remove the watermark by licensing the image, but that's up to you. Cool. So the comment by Sega is, I'm so glad it doesn't work perfectly for him. So many teachers show it work perfectly and never does for me. I always have to refine my selection manually. Yeah, so select subject never works perfect. I would say the most perfect you'll get it is like 90% there, 80% there. So you always have to refine it. And the reason that a lot of instructors or teachers show like it working on a perfect image is because when you're teaching, you want to make sure that something works. So, to showcase the selection. But at least what I try to do is always say what I just said, that it'll get you there most of the way, but you still have to fine tune a little bit. So it shouldn't work perfect ever, but it will work really good a lot of the times. Anyway, so what I'm going to do now is go into the select, modify, and expand command. This will expand the selection by a number of pixels. So we'll say, in this case, we'll just go with maybe 10 pixels and see how much that expands it. So see what that did? Now there's space between his body and the edge of the mask. And in some cases, like, in his hair, it might not be enough. So then I can just come in here manually and just make sure that I get the entire hair, So just make sure that his body or his clothing, hair, and all that sort of stuff is not really coming out too far. Or past the selection, I should say. And it looks really, really good. I'm liking what I'm seeing here. Awesome. So yeah, so now that I have the selection active like I do there, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a technology called Content Aware. Content Aware allows you to generate pixels based on other pixels in the image. So we're going to use the magic of Content Aware to fill the image. So I'm going to go into Edit, Content Aware Fill, and from here, like magic, Photoshop will make them disappear. And it's not perfect. If you zoom in, like right here, you'll notice that it's not perfect. In this image, it doesn't matter because I want to keep that part anyway. That's where his foot is. But if you are working on a photo where it did matter, where it did make a difference, then no problem. What you can do at this point is select the Clone Stamp tool, hold Alt on Windows, Option on the Mac, and click to set a sample source, and then you can paint. You can see that preview there. See that? See my preview there? You can paint with those pixels and fix that area, like so. And I can sample from this point, and also, actually, I don't like it. Maybe from here. And then fine-tune this area accordingly. So you're not stuck with the results that you get from the Content Aware. You can go in there and fine-tune it with the with the Clone Stamp tool. And in some cases, it really did a good job here, but in some cases you may need to even use the Spot Healing Brush tool and just click and drag to remove imperfections. So I can make sure that all layers are selected and then just come in here and actually I selected the wrong tool, the Spot Healing Brush tool, not the Healing Brush tool. Make sure that sample all layers are selected and then click and drag to remove certain areas from the image, like so. See that? See that? I'm just removing these spots. So if you get those little artifacts over the image, you can use the Spot Healing Brush tool, set it to all layers, and then just click and drag in the different areas to remove those points. Now, in this case, it's not necessary. Excuse me. In this case, it's not necessary, but you may need to select the patch tool and then click and drag over an area. And actually, I gotta be on this layer. I can't do it on the layer that I generated with the Content Aware fill. But if I'm in the original layer, I can click and drag that to another area, like maybe here. Actually, I need to find an area where I only have sky. There you go. And see how I just removed that piece? Probably could have selected a better area, maybe like over here. Actually, that didn't do that good of a job either. That's where the skateboard was, maybe right there. But anyway, I think you get the idea. You can just click and drag and move these things around to see if you can find a better area to remove. And the reason that I'm not really getting a good spot is because that's where the skateboarder is. So I got to move far away where he's not there. But anyway, I think you get the idea. And see, that's what I was doing. The reason it's not looking good is because that's where the skateboard is. So let me just undo that. The point that I was trying to make is that with the Spot Healing Brush tool, with the patch tool, you can click and drag from one area and then sample another to remove the distraction. And actually, just because now I want to show you how it works, I can just click on this spot here, click and drag it, and then it removes it. See that? See how I just removed that line? So that's really how the tool works. So you have all those options. You have the Content Aware Fill, you have the Clone Stamp tool, the Spot Healing tool, and the patch tool. So with all these options, you can just remove any element from your photo. In some cases, it might take a little more time, but it just is not hard. It's just time consuming. So when you have an image where your main subject is now gone, what you can do is now duplicate the original image, go back up, and what I'll do is I'll just hit Control on Windows, Command on the Mac, and click on this layer, the one that we used to fill. And the reason I'm doing that is so that I can now create a layer mask and I have a layer just with my skater. See that? And now all I need to do is come in here and just fill with black on that layer mask using the brush tool. See that? Let me just make a larger brush. You can make a larger brush by tapping on the right bracket key on the keyboard. The bracket keys are found next to the letter P on North American keyboards at least. And now I can just go in here and paint him away like so. See that? And I'm just going faster because I just looked at the time and I want to make sure that I show you everything. So I'm not going to be perfect here, but try to spend a better try to get a better mask around the edges of his body there. But like I said, I'm going quickly here because I just saw the time. Anyway, so then there he is, and then you would have to come in here and then remove his foot as well. But see, the point is that I removed everything from the photo, so I can just have flexibility, right? So now if I want to like remove his socks, I can do that too. Maybe if I decide that it looks better just by having no socks and just a shoe, then I can do that. So you can make those creative decisions. So that's why I like the flexibility of just removing everything, right? So then, no socks. So maybe we'll leave it like that. And what we can do to get the other side of the shirt, remember if he's invisible, then you can see to the other side. What you can do is just make a shape with the pen tool, or a curvature pen tool rather. Select the curvature pen tool, and then I can select a shape, and I can just sort of think about how the back of the shirt will look, right? Like so, something like that. And then just click and drag. And obviously we don't want a stroke, and the fill color really doesn't matter in this case. And I gotta make sure that my mask works, so I gotta fill that in like so. So we'll just say that that's the back of the shirt. And what you need to do now is select his real shirt, make a selection around his real shirt like so, and then copy that, Control J, Command J on the Mac, drag that down above the shape and press Control Alt G, Command Option G on the Mac. Once again, Control Alt G, Command Option G, and then you can just fine tune that accordingly. So make it look like if it's the other side of the shirt, like so. And then you can double click to the side of the layer to create a layer style. Actually, you know what? Let's not do a layer style. Let's instead, even better. Actually, where did my layer style window go? It came up somewhere. Oh, here we go. It came out on my other computer screen. Well, I'll show you the layer style technique just in case. So you can create a gradient and then scale it like so, and maybe adjust the opacity, and you can maybe rotate it to make it seem like there's a shadow in there. That's totally cool. Another thing that you can do is you can just paint on top of it. So you can create a new layer and then just paint over it with like maybe black, and make sure that you have a soft brush, of course. And you can paint with it with black to make sure, to make sure that it creates a nicer shadow. And here's another trick that I like to do with brushes. If you hold the tilde key is right next to the number 1 on top of your keyboard on the top left, you erase. And once you erase everything, you can go into Edit, Fade, and you can use the Fade command to decide, how much of it you're erasing, like so. In this case, this shirt has a stripe going around it, so we can actually fake that using a layer style. So if we go into the shape layer that we created, we can fake it by creating a stroke. See that? If I create a stroke, let me just remove that and make sure the stroke is inside, and let me make it roughly the same size and roughly the same color. We just faked the inside of the shirt. And now we gotta do the other side. So same technique. All you would need to do is come in here and try to imagine how that part of the shirt would look. And the reason that I'm using a path is so that you can easily adjust it, like so. And again, it's all the trick to this challenge is just fine-tuning. Just fine-tuning it till you get something that works. Let me make sure that I don't go over the other path, and I'll do the same thing. I'll make a selection. So I'll come in here, select the original shirt like so. Control J, Command J on the Mac. Place it above that shape. Control Alt G, Command Option G on the Mac, and just place it right here. Scale it, rotate it, whatever you need to do, just so that the folds on the shirt sort of match where it's going. And this time I'll use a different technique just to show you something else. Instead, I'll just clip a blank layer to that, and I'll just paint in there. So you can do that as well. So there it is. Edit, fade, like so, and press OK. So this is basically how you need to go about that. You would need to do that inside of shoes, sleeves, anywhere that the body is covering, but you should be able to see through once you remove the body. Obviously, I went fairly quickly here. You can always come back and watch the recording later, but this is the technique to removing body parts from a photo and making it seem like you have an invisible person in your scene. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me just see here before I let you go, because I know it's time to go like in a minute now, but cool. Yeah, it looks like there's no questions, so thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to submit your work on behance.net. Let me go back into it. Make sure that you go into behance.net, click on create a project. Remember to use the hashtag PSDailyChallenge. Also, if you decide to create an invisible person, make sure that you submit it onto Discord. You can click on the community chat link. I'm on behance.net/challenge/Photoshop. That will take you into the Discord app, and make sure that you submit your work here under current challenge. Also, make sure that, again, use that hashtag PSDailyChallenge so that you can have an opportunity to be featured in this curated community projects gallery, and hopefully we can see your work on here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here with me yet again